Hey, friends, associates, other sweet peeps. This is just another short meditation for tuning into inner resources and settling back into rest, connecting with the body. And it's intended to be something that you can go in whatever direction you want to go in, when you want to energize, when you want to um, get some rest from restlessness. So, just to start, just being neutral, being aware, just noticing what's here, feeling what I'm sitting on, feeling the temperature of the room, noticing if there's any smell, if there's any sound, if there's any taste. And noticing what's going on inside, like emotional feelings might be here, thoughts, intentions. Being aware on the inside, being aware on the outside. And now asking ourselves the question, who is the one being aware? Like noticing that who I am right now, at least partly, is the one being aware. Again, giving ourselves a moment to be aware, and then noticing that who we are is the one being aware. And now saying to yourself, I allow myself to be present as one who is present. Just giving yourself a moment to be present as a being who is present, as the one who is present. And I allow myself to be present as presence. Presence could be being a human being, just being here, having your experience. The full range of human experience kind of varies, doesn't it? Just allowing this to be here, giving it space to be, granting it permission, granting it space, and welcoming it into the space. Or being presence might be, right now, today, it might feel like being an energy presence. It might feel like being a soul, being an energy body, being a being. I allow myself to be present as presence. And now letting that sense of presence expand a bit and saying to yourself, I allow presence to occupy the body. Of course it already is. And to allow myself to have more of that experience that presence occupies the body. Presence occupying my body right now. And maybe even allowing that to expand a bit more. Like letting presence occupy the emotional. Like the emotional sense of what's here and what experience is. We relate to that emotionally too. Letting presence occupy that. Letting presence occupy the emotional. And allowing presence to occupy the mental. Like there might be a sense that we think about or have a mental awareness of our experience. And just letting presence occupy that. It might feel bigger, it might feel smaller. Letting presence occupy the mental. And having a sense of relatedness, maybe relating to our experience. Like feeling like our experience is related to us and that we're related to our experience. And now allowing presence to occupy relatedness. Whatever relating is happening, letting presence occupy that. Letting presence occupy relatedness. And now maybe even allowing presence to occupy possibility. Like if there's a sense of possibility in life, or possibilities of who we're being right now, like maybe we're being grounded, or maybe you're feeling loving, or maybe I'm feeling connected, or maybe we're feeling empowered. These possibilities that sometimes happen in who we're being right now. Letting presence occupy possibility. And letting presence occupy possibility in life. Like maybe in life, there's been some being creative today, or being productive. They're not the same. They're interestingly different. Being creative, being productive, being grounded with life. Operating in being in action. Operating with trust. And trusting that my video is working right now. Trusting life enough that I'm going to allow my presence to occupy life, possibilities in life. Like I open the possibility of being grounded. Noticing if energy comes in, if that feels inspiring at all right now, the possibility of being grounded. Letting presence occupy that. And the possibility of being creative. Notice if it feels like the quality of being creative is something that we're inspired to be. Letting that quality of creativity be here in presence. And letting presence occupy the possibility of being creative. And the possibility of being empowered or effective. Letting presence occupy the power of being effective. Letting energy come into the possibility of being effective, however much it might feel inspiring right now. And inspiring in life to be effective. Letting energy in, letting presence occupy the possibility of being effective. And the possibility of being loving. Notice however much that feels like a quality of being right now. And notice how much the possibility of being loving might feel like it has us be related to life when we're being loving. Related to what's going on around us in reality when we're being loving right now. Letting energy into that. Letting presence occupy the possibility of being loving. And the possibility of being expressive and receptive. These two elements of communion and communication, expressive and receptive. Letting presence occupy that sense of communion with life. Being receptive, being appreciative. Letting presence occupy this. Being here with this, with presence occupying this possibility of being receptive and expressive. And letting presence occupy the possibility of being aware. We sensed being aware before. Now let's know it as a possibility. Like, does it sometimes in life feel inspiring to operate in life being very aware, being very tuned in? Does that feel inspiring? Letting energy come in if being very aware, being poignantly aware, present and aware, being presence, being aware, feels inspiring right now. Letting presence occupy the possibility of being aware. And the possibility of being connected. Sensing the possibility of being connected. Letting presence occupy this. Feeling that sense of presence occupying the possibility of being connected. And now notice that while Being connected is a possibility. And being connected might feel like it brings in energy. But the possibility of being connected is also a vast space. It's a big space. There's a lot of possibility in being connected. A lot of things that can happen in life when we're connected. A lot of ways we can relate to life when we're being connected. A lot of ways we can be when we're being connected. It's a vast space. And notice that that sense of vast space is actually something that we can rest in. Like, notice if it feels like the possibility of being connected also offers a place to rest. A vast space, a space in which to rest. And allowing ourselves to have however much we do and however much we don't, a sense of being able to rest in the space of being connected. Hello, neighborhood. And noticing also if the space of the possibility of being aware, space of awareness, is also something we can rest in. Maybe even knowing ourselves as an awareness space. And allowing ourselves to rest in the space of awareness. And similarly, in the possibility of being receptive and expressive, this possibility of communion, of appreciation, of everything fits together. Just allowing this to be a space in which we can rest. Yes, it can bring in energy, and it also offers rest. And we can rest in this space of receptive, expressive, communion, appreciation. And again, the possibility of being loving. Notice if we can rest in the possibility of being loving. If the possibility of being loving is also something that offers space, and that we can actually rest in that space. And notice the possibility of being effective, the possibility of being empowering, and the possibility of being empowered. Like if the possibility of being empowered offers us space that we can actually rest in, that possibility of being empowered. And the possibility of being creative. Notice if that's also not just offering energy, it's also offering space. Like the possibility of being creative is a big space. There's lots of possibility there in possibility of being creative. So it's a big space. And notice if we can actually rest in that space of that possibility of being creative. And the possibility of being grounded. Again, notice if this offers space in which we can rest. And just allowing ourselves to rest in this possibility of being grounded, this big space of all that is possible in being grounded. Space in which to rest. And as we relate to all these things, notice that relatedness is also a space, that it also offers rest. Like relatedness is a space that's always here. It's available. And that sense of space is restful. The space is a thing we can rest in. And notice, once again, being presence. Notice that presence is a space in which we can rest. And just for now, letting ourselves rest as presence. And letting ourselves be present as presence. Resting in that experience, however much we do, and however much we don't. And allowing ourselves to be present as one who is present. Notice that doesn't ask anything of us. And we can give to it or we can just rest in it, being present as one who is present. And noticing that who we are is one being aware. and letting ourselves just be aware. Noticing that we're one being aware and just being aware. And now we're back at the beginning, and in the beginning we might just allow ourselves to relax and breathe and feel. And relax. And breathe. And feel and relax and breathe and feel. And relax. And rest, however much we do. Thanks, I hope you had fun, or at least felt some cool things. Maybe some access to a range of experience that you can intentionally play with. Be well.